Wake Up Jacob. It's me, IP. And if you are new to the tribe, like, share, subscribe. Just going to talk to you a little bit while I'm on my little morning walk. And I can't stress to you guys enough to keep working out, keep your physical health up. It's important. But also, talk a little bit about finances, right? And I know uh, some people stay away from it. Some homesteaders stay away from it. But I want to talk about the things that will affect your pocket. That'll affect you, your family. That affect your pocket. So sometimes we have to talk about finances. And one of the things I do know that, since finances isn't talked about in school, isn't taught in school, then none of us grew up with a real financial education. So I'm just going to do like some basic things, things that, I either, read them in books. I either went to seminars, some free seminars, some paid seminars. Um, I used to be in personal finance a little bit. I am not a financial advisor. I don't have all those licenses and stuff like I used to have, so I will not be offering financial advice as far as, hey, go invest in XYZ. I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm talking about just financial education. Nothing different than, say, you know, a Harry Dent, Robert Kiyosaki, Buckminster Fuller, stuff like that. People that I've, read, respect, studied, things like that. I'm only going to just do the education. I'm only going to talk about the education portion of all this. I'm not going to tell you exactly what you do. Now, at best, I can tell you what I'm doing. That's about it. I can't tell you what to do. Do your own due diligence and study for yourself. But there's a couple of things, that we have to understand. Growing up, I grew up very, very poor in the hood, and it was bad. It was pretty bad. But eating hand to mouth, public assistance, food stamps, all that. That's how I grew up, right? In rundown apartments and stuff. Rats, roaches, yeah, all that. All that. Good times. Struggle. The struggle was real. That's how I grew up. But when it comes, to financial education, I always knew that something was wrong. I was like, man, why are we so poor? Why are we struggling and stuff? And I just wasn't fortunate enough to grow up and everything was held together so well that I didn't notice we were poor. Oh no, I knew that. I knew we were poor. I knew that. So if you're anything like me, then you figured that there had to be something else. So some of the things I had learned. First and foremost, one of the things that one of the early things that I learned about financial education is the key to have some financial freedom to get to stress, get to not worry so much about financial stress is multiple streams of income. I had to learn that. Now it's from Robert. Matter of fact, he has a book. It's called Multiple Streams of Income, and then he has multiple streams of internet income. It's Robert. I forgot his last name. I can remember his first name because, hey, we have the same first name. But anyway, so I learned that kind of early on. I'm like, man, you got to have multiple streams of income so that when one stream is affected, it doesn't mean that another stream is affected, right? So you got to have like diversified income. So for example, if you're in the stock market and you have that as a stream of income, you're some type of trader or investor, you have that as a stream of income. And then if you're in the real estate market, then that's a different stream of income. And if you're in the precious metal market, in that stream of income, you have an internet business. That's another stream of income. You just have different streams of income so that they don't have they have an inverse relationship, right? Or if something bad happens to one, then your other streams of income are okay. A lot of us get in dangers when we have one stream of income and then that one stream of income is cut off suddenly. Then we are in trouble. Give me 100 if you guys can hear me just fine. because I'm actually doing it through Bluetooth. So, so that's one. Multiple streams of income. I'll go in depth in some of these other things, in other videos. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So I'll go into depth in other videos, right? Now, when it comes to precious metals, I learned a little bit about precious metals, studied the history of money and things like that. Now, we know precious metal, particularly particularly gold and silver. And I'm gonna cut this short because I think my phone's gonna die. But particularly gold and silver. Shalom, shalom, everybody, for joining me. Right now, I can't really see all the comments because I'm kind of walking and my hand, and all that. But uh, particularly precious metals, gold, silver. We know it has a 5,000 year history. Okay, gold and silver is God's money, right? That's God's money. No man puts a value on it, saying that okay, this is money, this is no longer money. There's no point in history where it wasn't money. Okay, it may not have been legal tender, but it's always had money. It always had an intrinsic value. You go back, look at all the old movies, look at all going through history and everything. A shekel, it was made of silver or gold, right? For the most part. So it always had a value to it. So what people do today is they use it as a hedge against fiat currency, against fiat. Now, fiat is paper money that isn't backed by anything, and no fiat is backed by anything. Like the American dollar used to be backed by gold, but that was pre 1971. It used to be backed by gold. That means you could trade in your money and get gold. Uh, until they pretty much outlawed after the depression and everything. They pretty much outlawed owning gold and all that. Speaking of which, a lot of countries have been buying up gold when you consider our current situation, coronavirus and all that. Buying up gold, Russia, China, a lot of governments just buying gold left and right. Even companies, JP Morgan, I think they're the largest holder of silver. So they're just buying up gold because why? They're getting ready for this. It hedges, right? So if we're going to change from one fiat currency to a different currency altogether, they're getting ready because precious metals is a preserver of your wealth. It preserves your wealth, right? So if I put my dollars into gold or silver, those precious metals will hold its value, right? Hold its value. Think about it like this. If gold is 1,200 bucks an ounce. I know it's more, like 1,700. I'll just go with what it is right now. At the time of this video, about 1,700. If gold is 1,700 an ounce, so you put 1,700 bucks in gold, and you have a gold ounce or whatever. When you have that gold in your hand, you still have 1,700 bucks. You see, if it goes up, you got a little bit. It was worth a little bit more, but it's worth more of those dollars that you put in there. Okay, now again, precious metals can go up and down like anything, like stock, like real estate. It can go up and down like anything. But right now, precious metals are being suppressed, right? Meaning they should be worth more, but they're printing funny money. Companies buying back stocks. They're inflating a lot of things. It's right now the stock market is divorced of reality, right? It's not working according to reality, and so the precious metals as well. Well, they'll have you believe it's not worth as much, but try to go on to some of these precious metal dealers, some of these sites, try to buy some. Gold, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, right? Try some places you can get some silver, but for the most part, a lot of places sold out, sold out, sold out. I mean, go to various dealers. I scoured, looked around some dealers. You may be able to find some, but it's getting really scarce out there. Really, really, really scarce. So you haven't been getting it, then hey, what can I say? So what happens when people get scared and they're looking, oh man, all the silver's been bought up and all gold's been bought up, and a lot of people want to know, wait, where's it going and what's going on? Well, a couple things. People are buying it up, storing it, hoarding it at home, put it in depositories, and the mining has stopped. Some mining's got, with the whole coronavirus. Some mining companies, have stopped. Some of them. So production of it, drilling for it, digging, excavating it, has stopped temporarily. So the supply is being cut off temporarily. So that's what's going on, with gold, silver, precious metals, things like that. Now, with the economy collapsing, a lot of people think that, oh, it's the coronavirus, and that's what caused this whole thing to collapse. No, coronavirus is simply a pin that popped the bubble. It was going to get popped anyway. If you've been looking at any type of financial news and staying abreast of those things, it was going to pop anyway. It was propped up artificially. It just took this pin to come along, called the coronavirus, to come in and pop it. Okay? So, the reason I'm going into this type of talk is because it affects you and I, right? It affects you and I. So, I just want to bring that to you. Now, I'll talk a little bit more about financial things a little bit later. But again, I want to keep it fundamental because otherwise I'll be in front of the computer and showing you guys charts and graphs and all, and then I'll turn, this whole thing will be turned into like a financial channel or something like that. And I'd rather have financial segments rather than the whole thing be about, finances and stuff like that, because I do want to stick with homesteading and Bible topics and Hebrew news. And this qualifies as that, a little bit of Hebrew news to anything that's going to affect you and your family. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off because the phone's about to die, but I just wanted to get into that a little bit, let you know multiple streams of income, precious metals, and financial education. Understanding a couple things, understanding the world around you will help you better navigate, and help you make better decisions, especially with your money. Um, there's a tremendous amount of opportunities out there. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what to do at all. I'm not going to do that, but I will tell you to pay attention. I will tell you to educate yourself, and I will tell you to continue to prepare, because part of your preparation is also financial, right? Which leads me to my last point. Now, what happens when the market, it drops, and then they give you thinking about zero interest rates, and then they keep printing money, which could be of course when these interest rates, if it goes to zero, that makes the dollar pretty much worthless, right? And then they keep printing dollars to infinity, which could cause inflation and make the dollar less valuable, which it's pretty much worthless anyway. But people start running to hard tangible assets, like I talked about earlier: precious metals, real estate. They're gonna go. If you can, people try to get their hands on oil, commodities, things like that. People gonna get into agriculture, and then there's one more area people are going to get into, and that is digital currency or cryptocurrency, and the mother of them all is Bitcoin. People are going to get into that. Now, the reason they're going to get into that, because I know people will say, well, Bitcoin is not a physical asset. I understand that. But the reason why people are attracted to it, because it is decentralized, meaning the Fed they don't control it. Now, they like to get rid of it, but right now the people are saying, we like Bitcoin, leave it alone, because it's decentralized. No one controls it, right? Satoshi is not even around. You don't even, the supposed inventor, which could be one guy, could be a group of people, could be whatever. No one really knows. It's a mystery, guys. It really is a mystery. But Bitcoin is here, and people are going into that as well. And what they're trying to do is hedge their wealth. I'm not talking about people trying to get rich and all that. I mean, some people come going with that mindset, but the wealthy are hedging, their wealth. They are preserving their value. So they will move it into different asset classes. And understand, when you talk about diversification, another word we're getting into, diversification. Diversification is not having a lot of the same thing, right? Because it's still, a various class. Like for instance, stocks, that's a class. Real estate, that's a class. Precious metals, that's a class. That's how you diversify, You diversify within different classes because each class are affected differently by the economy and about market and from market sentiment. Different class. So diversity is not just, oh, I'm going to have a diversity of cars. So I got 20 cars. That's not really diversity. It's not really. There's a lot of cars, but it's not really diversity. If you want to be diversity of vehicles, then you're gonna have a car, a truck, a boat, a plane, a helicopter. That's diversity, right? Because different things. If you're all up in the mountains and everything, well, your motorcycle's not gonna do you much good, but a helicopter might do pretty good, right? So it just depends on the things that happens, guys. So just keep that in mind. Financial education, diversification, multiple streams of income, and I will be talking about that more in other videos, because if I want to be, Israelite prepper, which implies preparation, then I'm just going to share with you guys what I'm thinking and what I'm doing, and hopefully it'll help someone preserve themselves. Till next time, Israelite prepper.